Hello everyone, my name is Joe Lee and this is my second speech for public speaking class. Today I have 5 of my classmates today in the audience and this is the information speech. So hitting a golf ball is a very challenging yet very satisfying experience. Feeling the golf ball just cut through the club like a knife through butter is something that I really wish everyone could experience because there really is no better feeling in my opinion. The purpose of this speech today is to inform you about the proper mechanics of hitting the golf ball and how those proper mechanics produce quality and consistent golf shots. As someone who's been playing golf for many years and has learned all of the mechanics from many coaches and family members, I understand how these proper mechanics work with tempo in order to produce consistent results. So if you're someone who likes golf and needs a little bit of swing help, or if you're someone who's interested in learning more about the sport, then understanding these mechanics and the importance of tempo can help you improve your swing and make you appreciate the skill required to hit a golf ball even more. So a good golf swing is built on discipline and paying attention to many small, minor details. When these aspects are put together, they produce a quality golf shot. To explain this, I will focus on the importance of a proper setup, the smooth rotation of the golf swing, and a solid follow-through, which are all put together with a proper tempo. So before the golf swing even begins, we have to talk about the setup. I like to think of the setup with the acronym GPA, which stands for grip, posture, and alignment. This is basically just the foundation of the swing before it even begins. So with the grip, there's many minor details that have to be taken into account for because without it, the swing will break down. The grip starts by placing your left hand on the golf club with your thumb pointed straight down. It's also important that you're able to just see 2 of your knuckles on the club because this ensures that the hand is positioned properly on the club. After this, you place your right hand on the club as well with your thumb pointing straight down, ensuring that you have good control. I also like to take my left finger and interlock it between the gap between my pinky and ring finger like that. That just makes me feel very solid when I'm holding the club. Now the last thing to keep in mind with grip is how much pressure you apply to the golf club. You don't need to squeeze the club super duper tight because then you're going to lose control. You want to be very loose and gentle with it. One thing my dad always told me was to imagine like the club is a baby bird. If you were holding a baby bird, you'd be very gentle with it. You wouldn't want to squeeze it because that's going to hurt the bird. So you think of the golf club in a similar way. The next part of the setup is your posture. Golfers are typically in a strong athletic position when they stand over the golf ball. They're not standing too tall up or too hunched over like this. They find a happy medium where they're positioned balanced over the ball with a slight knee bend. Another important part of the posture is just let your hands fall naturally and be separated from your body nice and loose. The last part of the posture is just try to imagine your feet are about a shoulder width apart, or maybe just a little bit more if you need more balance. The final part of the setup is the alignment. Now, alignment basically refers to how your body is aimed at the target. You can have a really solid swing, but if you're aimed wrong, you're going to be hitting the golf ball in a completely wrong direction. So with alignment, I just like to think about having my feet and my shoulders parallel to the target that I'm aiming at. So that's all that comes into play with the setup of the golf swing, and they form the foundation of the swing to ensure that everything's solid. Now, the motion of the swing begins with the backswing. The backswing is just one cohesive turn of the shoulders, arms, and hips. I like to imagine the swing going all the way up to here until my left arm reaches a 9 or a 10 o'clock position, like how the hands on the clock work. I also like to have a nice wrist hinge right here to initiate some power in the downswing. Now, a very important factor of the backswing is your swing plane, which is basically the path that the club takes. Beginner golfers really want to focus on having a neutral swing plane, not too steep or not too shallow. If you're too steep with your swing, you end up swinging up like this and cutting across the ball, disrupting that neutral plane. What this does, it causes the ball to be hit at an angle that creates a lot of side spin. And this side spin will carry the ball into the air, but way too far right. And the opposite is true for a swing that is too shallow. If you're too shallow, you end up wrapping around your body and flipping through the ball. This creates another side spin effect that pulls the ball way too far right, or left, I guess. Now, has anyone ever struggled slicing the golf ball in their life when playing? Yeah. It's a very common mistake that golfers make, and that's because you're swinging too far up instead of getting that good turn of the arms, shoulders, and hips. One way I like to think about the swing plane is to think that your arms and the club are on a parallel axis to your body. If you swing too around your body, you disrupt the axis like behind you, and if you swing too far up, you're too far away from the axis of your body. So now, after the backswing, we have the downswing. The downswing is a pretty quick moment in the swing, and it is pretty simple if you do it right. I like to just think about dropping my hands down into my right pocket before I turn my body through. Now, what this drop of the hands does, it allows the momentum of the club to just fall naturally on plane, ensuring that when the club reaches the ball, it's on a very square line and it's going to hit it very straight. An important thing to consider with the downswing is to not turn your body before you let your hands drop into impact. If you do this, if you turn your body like this, your hands and the club will end up playing catch up with your body. So what this does is at impact, your club is going to be wide open, and where is that club face pointed? Way too far right. That's another main reason why people slice it, because they get too quick with their bodily turn. So far we've discussed everything from the setup and leading up to impact. But what happens after impact, and more importantly, how do we put it all together? That is where the follow through and tempo come into play. So with the follow through, you're just going to continue the momentum of the club through the ball, and your hands are going to go through the ball as well. At this moment, you let the club lead your body, and you turn your hips through the ball. This turn of the hips keeps you balanced throughout the downswing, and it also initiates a lot of the power in the swing as well. Now, a solid follow through will prove that the swing was balanced and sequenced in the right tempo. Like I said, the sequence comes from tempo, which is basically the key to the golf swing. It is fairly a mental aspect of the golf swing, and if you rush it, your tempo is going to be off and your mechanics are going to start to break down. The best golfers in the world know exactly how fast and how slow each part of the golf swing needs to be. I like to think of tempo kind of like that amusement park ride with the Viking ship or the pirate ship, where it keeps on going up and down, back and forth. As that ship approaches the top, it starts to slow down, and when it falls, it just naturally accelerates due to gravity. The golf swing is very similar. When we get to the top, we start to slow down a little because we have patience, and when we drop our hands through, we don't force them down, but we just let the club drop. You don't need to swing too hard because these golf clubs have so much technology in them that are just going to launch the ball super far. So that is basically the entire mechanics of the golf swing. I know I threw a lot at you guys today, and the golf swing probably still seems very, very complicated, but this is probably the simplest it's going to get. With enough practice, and once you start to understand the swing, you'll probably start to hit better golf shots, and your swing will start to improve. So today, I explained the proper mechanics of the golf swing and how they depend on a proper setup, a smooth rotation of the body, and a good follow through, which are all synchronized by the proper tempo. From my experience, I would say that staying true to these basics and just having the discipline and practice to just get these basics down is way more beneficial than trying to just swing the club as hard as you can, trying to maximize your power, or trying to learn some like advanced swing thought that only like pros or really elite players should be focusing on. So if you ever find yourself watching golf, which I know it doesn't happen often, you might pay attention to like the leaderboard or any sort of tournament news, or maybe you're like me and you just like to watch golf to admire the beauty of the golf course. I mean, these are all great things, but just take a moment to analyze any specific player's swing. It may just look like a quick, repeatable motion that they do all the time, but there's actually so much happening in just a couple of seconds. And once you understand it, you really start to appreciate the skill behind it. And you might even be able to pull it off for yourself. Thank you for listening. That was my informative speech.